Hello, I'm Richard Battaglia from the John Arrow Group, and I'm here today doing Hancock Park Conversation. I'm here today with the legend in Hancock Park, Miss Jane Gilman, Mrs. Jane Gilman.
How are you doing?
Good,
Yes.
good. You know, when you first moved to this neighborhood, as I did in 1989.
Well, you're such a newcomer.
So in 1989, I came here and bought a house on Norton between Beverly and First. We fixed up extensively, and this newspaper kept coming to the house like every month, and you know, I didn't pay attention to it, and it was like getting in the way, and it was wet. And after about the third month,
Wet.
Did you deliver it wet?
No, it came in a clear plastic bag on your doorstep.
After about the third month, what happens is that you start looking at this and you start taking it seriously, and then what happens is it becomes your Bible for the neighborhood, and you look forward to it coming. And I got to tell Jane that the four newspapers at that time that were important to me were the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the LA Times, the South Philly Review, and the Larchmont Chronicle. I'm sorry,
That's
five of them. And the only one I get and look forward to now is the Larchmont Chronicle.
Oh, well, that's really nice to hear, Richard. And we feel really good about that because we've been doing this for 49 years. 49, older than you are. And we started mailing it at first. The first issue was 12 pages. And we mailed it because we wanted to make sure that people received it. And after about 13 years, we decided that we would hand deliver it in a clear plastic bag and make sure that it was on the doorstep, not on the lawn. So that's what we've been doing.
You started it by yourself?
No, Dawn Goodwin was my partner. The two of us started. She retired about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so...
And you were just two young ladies that decided this neighborhood needs a newspaper, we're going to start one.
That's right. We saw it when we came to the street. Dawn had already known about the street. She'd done some shopping, I think, at Phil's Poultry.
Phil's Poultry was where?
Down by Village Heights. And
was that like where pizza is now?
Yeah, it was similar.
There was a Nick's Fish Market there when I came here.
Mm.
Yeah?
And so she knew the street, and Larchmont is a hidden street. You know, it only goes between 3rd and Melrose. So I had never, in my 2 years that I'd been out here, I'd never, known Larchmont. But when I saw it, it was just exactly like my hometown of Rye, New York. And so angle parking and the whole thing, and a really nice upper class community. So I called it the Larchmont Chronicle because it had been the Rye Chronicle when I grew up. So I just used that same name, even though it's a mouthful. And so we experimented and got 12 pages together. This is our first issue, and
it's so nice that you have this all.
All our bound copy. Yeah. Freeway threatens Hancock Park homes.
Oh my God.
That certainly got people's attention.
What was that all about?
Well, they wanted to put a Beverly Hills Freeway in, going from the 101 to the west side, even before the 405 was done.
You're kidding. Along what street?
Well, they wanted to put it through Beverly, around Beverly Boulevard, and they wanted to dissect the Wilshire Country Club, which of course was not too popular.
So we were going to have a freeway going straight down Beverly instead of Beverly.
East and west. Yeah.
Oh my
East
God.
and west.
God.
And then we talked about the medical center building, which is the 10-story building that somehow got approved. And so we made an impact right away because people were concerned about what was going on, and actually, the other papers weren't covering it.
They probably were hungry for this
yes,
information.
And we did a lot of society news and, candlelight ball and tennis ball and all these things. So it was really great, and we were really pleased with the reception that we got.
And then advertisers just kind of like, it was easy to get advertisers on board.
Yes.
This is the ultimate in entrepreneurial spirit here. How timely for us to be talking about this right now, actually.
Well, the funny thing was that we didn't want people to know we were girls.
Right.
Well, this is 1963, and
they had
women
girls
weren't...
back then.
Yes, but they didn't have necessarily working women, so we put our names down as J. Gilman and Dawn.
Oh, how funny.
Goodwin, because
Did you get any? Was there any
no
kind
static.
Of, no static.
No, so they got used to us, and it was really because of the Larchmont Pharmacy really got us on the map because they incorporated their newsletter into our paper.
Nice.
So yeah, so we had two full pages right away.
Wow, and so it's 49 years.
49 years, yeah.
And you've been married how long?
52.
Oh my God! All right.
Yeah.
So he said, "I'm going to marry you, but go out and work."
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? How is Erwin, by the way?
Erwin's great. He's so very supportive, and he's just a pleasure.
Nice.
He keeps me laughing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you came to Larchmont, what was the street like?
Oh gosh, it had, I think, 4 or 5 grocery stores. It had Jurgensen's, which was the ultimate in grocery stores. And it had a Safeway, it had a Larchmart, and it had a Lindy's. So they were big. Grocery stores were really big then. And we had one restaurant. And that was, I think, sort of where Pinkberry's was. Helen's Cafe. And that was it. Just the one. It seems hard to believe. And the street closed up at 5 o'clock and was closed on Sunday for the most part.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So now we have 20 coffee stores.
That's right,
and
no
72
grocery.
banks and 43 real estate offices. But you've seen the change in the way people walk and dress on Larchmont and
Oh my, you
over the
used to
years.
have to go, you used to have to get dressed up to go to Safeway because
nice.
you'd see your friends there and heaven forbid that you know, were out of step.
You didn't have to
casual.
wear your pajamas like I see people doing every Sunday morning at the farmer's market.
No, we didn't have a farmer's market either, but no, there was very, you know, very social.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference now is there aren't as many local people going to the street as there were before. We get them from Los Feliz, Hollywood Hills, all over West Side, but we don't have as many local people shopping on Larchmont, enjoying Larchmont. I mean, they're here once in a while, but not the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And the kids all had charge accounts at Landis department store.
I love that.
And, and Landis would hire them for, you know, vacation time, and Landis was really the big draw on Larchmont at the time, and it was where U.S. Bank is
there,
now.
Yeah. Actually, I caught the tail end of that place.
Yeah.
And then they have the little one across the street. So
And we had a toy store. Well, of course, now we have a toy store again, but it took a while. We had a photography store. We had a record store, if you can believe it.
that sold LPs and
record
45s? Sold 45s, right?
Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah.
Where was Jurgensen's? Jurgensen's was...
Jurgensen's took up 3 locations. Trying to think where you would. I think Z Pizza is one of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right
Mhm,
there?
that-
oh,
yes.
all right.
And they had a gourmet grocery store. They did a lot of delivery. And then they had a wine shop and a gift shop.
Oh, my God. It's amazing.
And the kids would all go in and get free cookies there, too.
Free cookies.
Free cookies, and bakery people would give them a
What a
cookie.
great thing.
Yeah.
So, back to the Larchmont Chronicle. What is the circulation now?
Right now, we go to 22,000 families.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And we also, well, we've expanded. We started just from La Brea to Western. Now we go into Miracle Mile and Park La Brea.
Okay. All right.
So,
And that's a
yeah.
lot. And I believe probably people want it out of the country too. So
yes,
people,
we have definitely international subscriptions
Amazing.
and all over. Yeah, and sometimes parents want their kids while they're in college to get the paper, so we send it there, and just different places that they request.
And so, and you've seen all these changes on Larchmont. What do you think about the neighborhood as you've seen it grow and progress, and the changes with around the neighborhood? How do you see the future?
Well, it's very positive in some respects because of the residential associations. When we started, there was only the Hancock Park homeowners. There had been a Windsor Square Association, but it was dormant at the time. Now, you have about 15 different neighborhood associations, and they're all active, and they have block captains and neighborhood watch, and they have meetings, and they have email trees, and it's very organized and
much more tight-knit community
yes.
now. It's interesting. You know, it's interesting. There's a lot of strangers that move in, but then somehow they, like I said, it's like you kind of get incorporated into knowing what's important to look out for in the neighborhood, like this great newspaper, which is our Bible. So now the Chronicle. So you have it's put out every month. And I know your deadlines, because I used to write an article for 3 years.
Right,
it was a fabulous article. Yes, Preservation Notebook it was called. Go online, you'll see some in the archives.
Okay.
And that was because we were starting an HPOZ here and Windsor Square, and that came out of that. And that was actually nice, because I was doing a column monthly called Preservation Notebook that was how houses were restored in the neighborhood, a little history of who lives there. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Fun.
I really appreciated that.
Oh,
and then he went into real estate and we couldn't.
And then the market crashed, and it's like, it was perfect timing. Anyway, but, so how many employees do you have at the Larchmont Chronicle?
We have about 8.
8 employees?
And columnists.
Really?
Yeah, and columnists.
Oh, okay. And you have a big social column. I know Patty Hill does the social column.
Yeah, I love Patty Hill. She's terrific. We're very happy to have her. We had Lucy Toberman when we first started, and she was a social doyenne in the neighborhood. Everybody knew Lucy.
She was the Mrs. Sally Adams of the neighborhood. She was the Pearl Mesta of the neighborhood.
There you go. And so we were very grateful to have her. And then as the time went on, we just had new ones, and then Patty Hill has just been super for us.
Oh, it's
really
nice.
And I think we're the only ones that really have a society column. I think other papers, for whatever reasons, don't feel they're important, but I think they're very important.
Absolutely. You know, and you, I think, are, you know, I've lived in several areas in several cities, and I see this newspaper as like the most comprehensive and organized newspaper out there, and the one that you like look forward to seeing. It's interesting. I think it's the strongest local paper, especially in Los Angeles.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. We are different because we really have the ear of the community. We know what's going on, and we want to impart it to those who want to learn about it.
Well, there you go.
And we do profiles of interesting people. There's a man who's just written a book on Marilyn Monroe, and we'll be doing something on him in the next issue. And just, there's never a dull moment. It's a wonderful job, and I'm very lucky to have it.
And you have the column, I think you still have it, called New Neighbors? Do you still do that?
We don't. You know, that's one of the sad parts. People, their privacy is so important that they do not want the exposure. We'd
Really?
love to have it. In the old days, we had maybe 20 new neighbors listed, and people they still do. They throw neighborhood parties to welcome the new people in, but they just don't want their names in the newspaper.
Oh, really? God.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I think this is going to be the first of several interviews with this great lady who's so important to Hancock Park, Windsor Square, and I want to close it by thanking Jane Gilman and taking her time out to do our Hancock Park conversation.
Well, thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
It's been enjoyable, as always with you.
Isn't she lovely?